Curtis Selby's time, breaking down the stories every view will unwind. From left to right, we'll see the light. It's balance, we're chasing, no fighters fight. Curtis Selby, talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. Insights, it's on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The convo's unique. Curtis Selby, talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. The combos you need.
Well met and let loose and blah 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 dogs. For all I know, that's what YouTube has canceled me for. It is I, Curtis Selby, your tired midnight blogger with vlogs, in this case at 7:24 p.m. Yep, I got off work, I ate, I came home, I fiddled around and got something like a podcast ready for you guys. Hopefully, it's worth your time. I am going to look up one more thing before I say hello to everyone in the chat. I cannot find it. Oh, wait, maybe so. What do I want to show you? We watch TV. Alrighty. Okay, I think I found what I want to share. I'm hoping that this is not really a very long one, because I want to give you guys a chance to go to their streams, and also I don't know that I really have that much to share. And if anyone could, let me know if Rumble is working. I can't really tell, because on my end it just looks like a big triangle. So anyway, let's say hello to everyone in the chat. John Ponderero, prayers going up for you today. I know you are having some trials. Thank you very much for your brotherly love, for your insights, for the links that you share, and just for being a spiffy human being. Resolute Germ, thank you very much for being here, and I will be your guest host on Saturday morning cartoons on the 26th where we will share the joy that is the televised version of Feast of the North Star. You do not know appropriate Hapto Shinken. You are a faker. It's a line from the movie. He is also a wonderful creator. Please check out Resolute Germs' channel. You'll be glad you did. On the note of people whose channel you'll be glad you checked out, we have Accounting Sheep. Makes some wonderful music out there. Lots of funny parodies. Some of them will make you either laugh or cry. Thank you, Accounting Sheep. I hope you are doing well. Mikey Souza 4, another wonderful creator out here doing those reviews, doing those talks, and helping Gorilla Censored Thoughts out on cigar streams and Walton's reviews. Check out Mikey Souza 4. You'll be glad you did. JPRPH1 says, we want bikini pics. Well, you have to stay till the end. And then I'll share bikini pics. I should have made the post on Rumble with those bikini pics. Kapla, Gorilla Censored Thoughts, the creator of my spiffy intro song. He will be here till he's blown into Oz. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there. I wonder if she'll hold still. Hold on. I've got the real star of the show here. If she'll just sit still for a second. There she is. There she is, Cassie Doggy, in my messy kitchen, full of books and not food. There she is, Cassie Doggy. She's the best baby girl. Yes. All right, and Kaplaw, Mark Molikov, yet another wonderful creator and weapons specialist on the Klingon Christmas Carol. Kaplaw, hail and well met. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, where are the leaked photos? Well, I do have them on my hard drive. If you're talking about Tulsi Gabbard bikini pics. People saying hi, I have a wonderful community. It's so good to see all of you. Hey, Mikey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mikey. JPRPH1 is on Rumble saying 5x5 today. I wonder why it doesn't show me anything. That's okay. As long as it's and God bless you, John Ponterero. I have no idea if this works, if I highlight it or not. $2 super chat and Rumble. I have already made, I want to say $15 more on Rumble than I have on YouTube. And JPRPH1 is one of the big reasons why. Thank you for those super chats. Rumble is working. And we all love Cassie. Oh, and yes, hello, Bone. Another wonderful person out here is Cat with the Wrench. The way the world ought to be. All right, so let's stop the music. My apologies, guys, for being so lackadaisical in streaming. My only excuse is sickness, work, and, well, discouragement in that order. But we shall endeavor to persevere. And I have put up a poll. I'd love for you guys to vote. The new channel that I'm going to make so that if I don't have all my eggs in one basket, you can vote to have me call it The Voice of Northern Oklahoma, Donkey Panderer, Donkey Panda, and Nothing to See Here Citizen. So far, The Voice, Donkey Panderer, and Nothing to See Here Citizen are tied with 33% votes each. I'm curious what will win. I likely will be dumb enough to actually accept the vote of the community and call it what you guys want me to call it. I was going to call it The Voice of Northern Oklahoma, and then my friend Whiskey Flat said that I should call myself the Donkey Panderer. I think there's a certain beauty to that. So let's begin. Am I at least 8 minutes in? Yes. Okay. So I should be to the point where I can at least share a little bit of something controversial. I am not saying, please, YouTube, do not think that I'm saying that I believe this person, but we had a fairly successful podcaster on Rumble claiming that Tulsi just found classified election rigging files. I haven't watched the entire video, and I'm not going to, frankly, but he talks quite a lot in the first 15 minutes, makes some claims. I've tried to dig into them, and so far haven't been able to verify any of them. So you're asking, well, then why in the world did you bother with this topic? Well, one, I just think Tulsi Gabbard's wonderful. And two, the video is not a complete waste of time. So let's see what this chapter dude says. His name is Vince. This is the only video I've watched of his, and I haven't even watched the whole thing of this. But let's see what Tulsi says on his video
earlier this week. Take a look at this.
The more we dig, the more we find, and we see how people are sometimes, in some cases, resistant.
And let me know if you can hear it, because I know that sometimes when I try to play Twitter things on YouTube, it doesn't come across. So.
To providing us with those documents. In other cases, they have been hidden with the hopes that no one would ever find them.
We've encountered officials who've been resistant to giving us those documents. In other cases, they've been hidden with the hope that nobody would ever find them.
All right. So she doesn't come up there and say, well, I found evidence. It is what it is and all this. But what she does say is that there's a vast amount of resistance to finding anything. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. There's only 2 times when I resist you trying to find something of mine. That's either when I've got a skeleton to hide or when I'm wanting to surprise you with a birthday present. So I'm going to steal one of Russell Brand's jokes. Those invalid voter ID, those machines were all for a surprise birthday party for you, and you've ruined it. You're just like your father. He does it better than I do. So, and yes, Resolute Germ, it is like a week old by now. Yes, Gorilla Censored Thoughts, I got you a birthday present. If you stay, maybe not till the end of the video, but yeah, if you guys stay till the end of the video, I will share pictures of Tulsi Gabbard in a bikini. I lost a couple of viewers somehow. Well, anyway, there it is. We could skip ahead. I don't know if any of this is worth it. He talks a little bit about the Mr. Green, that congressperson that's always being a big dodo head. What's this? Supreme Court says Trump must facilitate the return of the man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. That's okay. So, but this guy is out here claiming that there's classified election rigging files. And as far as I can tell, that's not what Tulsi is saying. Wait, maybe it is. Hold on. What have we got here? Mikey Susie Force saying, and back in the day, the Florida Chads were a form of voter fraud. I know there was a lot of rumbling about that. So I was able to find one thing. I have not read it yet. So let's discover this together. Is this, as I on the Green Machine, I say what I mean, but I'll have to codify it here on YouTube. Is it a smoking iron construction of destruction, or is this just another clickbait thing? This is from the Western Journal, equipping readers with the truth. I have not heard of these people before, so my apologies if they suck. Watch, Tulsi Gabbard confirms the biggest election fraud claim in history at Trump cabinet meeting. I'm not going to play this only because I just, my spidey senses are going off. This was also about 5 days ago. Crickets. That's what I would begin my essay with if I was to write one. That's what you probably heard from the media on Thursday afternoon about election security after President Donald Trump held a cabinet meeting for the media. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said during the meeting that she was investigating possible security flaws in election voting and tabulating systems. And you heard crickets, if you even heard that. Generally, they were busy wallpapering over that with other stuff. Tariffs, China, in the forbidden zone, RFK and MLK, unaliving documents, virtually nothing involved. What one might argue is the biggest election integrity allegation in recent history. But the machines we use to vote and count our votes have serious vulnerabilities. Now, they're making the claim. Can they back it up? Resolute Germ, this is like the fourth smoking gun. Gorilla Sensor thought, no, it's not the North Tower. Wait, too soon? Mikey Susie 4 says many politicians during their election used death certificates to take their names and printed them on voter rolls to get illegal votes. I know that is a fairly, maybe I shouldn't say common practice, but it's an all too common practice. I'm pretty sure it's done by both sides. DJ Play Nice is showing up in the house. Rock! Saluting Curtis Selby, even though, I don't know, I thought I had something clever to say, and then it kind of, the neuron died of loneliness. Yeah, YouTube will probably claim that I'm threatening you guys by saying that the neuron died of loneliness. Boom. Oh, nope, wrong one. Nope, still wrong one. All right. Well, we may not have a smoking metal construction of destruction, but we have 10.8% annual return in annuities. First, the moment which came about half an hour into the meeting. I have a long list of things that we're investigating, Gabbard says, adding that the intelligence community had the best of the best going after security issues. Now, I have seen that on a video somewhere. I can't remember where that was. Maybe I shouldn't have closed out that guy's video so quickly. But anyway, the best of the best are going after security issues, including on election integrity. Then the big reveal. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of votes being cast. This, Gabbard told Trump, further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. I wonder if this will play. Oh, it's like 2 hours.
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. And lastly, we've been scanning. I've had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. These have been sitting in boxes in storage for decades. They have never been scanned or seen before. We'll have those ready to release here within the next few days.
That's great. Bobby, how do you feel about that? That's hitting.
I'm very
that's hitting
gratified to
close-
hear.
That's hitting close to home, isn't it? When you think, I'm thinking about Bobby when that statement's made.
I'm very grateful to you, Mr. President.
And you'll let Bobby see some of this because, it's very personal stuff. But it's time.
I've asked him and
All right.
his response is,
All right. So there it is. I hope you guys could hear it. If not, let me know. Way to go, Tulsi Gabbard. Just remember to keep an eye out. Watch your back when revealing dirty secrets. Right on, right on, right on. And Mikey Susie 4 is making a sad face. I hope it's because of what she said and not because of anything I did. Okay, heard it fine. Very good. So there it is. I mean, I don't know if she's exactly saying that there was fraud, but there are, according to her, vulnerabilities. You should be able to issue spoons as well as wrenches. I agree. Okay, so who are we? DJ and Mark. I think you're right because DJ and Mark show up quite a bit and are pretty spiffy people and have yet to beat me up or call me names. So right now, the voice of Northern Oklahoma is sitting at 40% of the votes. We have 10 votes. Wow. So 4 of you voted. Oh, wait. Somebody just voted for something else. So I'm assuming 4 voted for the voice of Northern Oklahoma. 4 have voted for Nothing to See Here Citizen. And 3 of you have voted for Donkey Panderer. Everybody wants a spork. You know what, Accounting Sheep? I think you do need a wrench. You need a wrench if you want to. You can leave your worries behind. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Add as a moderator. It's been so long since I've given anyone a wrench. All right. So Accounting Sheep should be getting one soon. Mikey's got one. DJ, play nice. Let's get him a wrench. Standard moderator. Standard moderator. Who else? DJ and Mark. And Resolute Germ, let me know if you want one. Mark Malnikoff. He. Glory to you and your house. There ought to be some kind of knighting ceremony for this. All right, so you guys should be wrenches momentarily. Everybody's laughing. Accounting Sheep says he'll take a spork. And Hail Dad Man Walking voted for Nothing to See. Fantastic. Mikey also voted for Nothing to See Here Citizen. Good to see you as always. No sport because it will remind me of Gorilla will be reminded of his time in jail. I hope Sadie would be laughing or gazing at me with lust in her eyes. Okay. A man can dream. A knighting ceremony? Let me go get my pain sticks. All right. So Tulsi said what she said. Again, it's not exactly proof, but it's something. It's more than we've gotten in a long time of any vague substance. Anyway, the Western Journal says, what did the media report on from Gabbard's remarks during the cabinet meeting? Pretty much anything that wasn't this. CBS News, documents related to the 1968 unalivings of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy will be released within the next few days. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Thursday during a cabinet meeting with President Trump. Trump is bad. Everyone knows it. Oh, I guess that wasn't in the quote. I'm sorry. The Hill, which I have a lot more respect for than most of these places, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said Thursday she has a large team working overtime to archive government documents related to the 1968 unalivings of Senator Robert F. Kennedy and civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. ahead of their release to the public. And even Fox News. Aren't they the bastions of liberty? Aren't they the right-wing champions? Gabbard says RFK MLK Jr. records ready to release in days, has hunters looking at FBI, CIA for more files. And this, the author of this is not saying that this is not going to be big news. But as someone who had been through the administration's reveal on the JFK unaliving files, they're pretty sure that these are going to be significantly less revealing than you think. Meanwhile, in space year 2025, almost 6 decades since MLK and RFK were unalived, voter integrity is a serious concern, one that needs to be addressed to restore faith in our elections. And just saying YouTube censoring us about it does not restore our faith one little bit. And CNN did have some news about Tulsi Gabbard and election integrity, although not how you might think. Broken a day before the cabinet meeting, as Tulsi Gabbard completed her transformation from a Hawaii Democratic politician to a MAGA surrogate last year, she put down stakes in a far redder state. Gabbard and her husband bought a home outside of Austin and declared under oath last June that they were residents of the state of Texas. But a few months later, Gabbard voted in the 2024 general election back in Hawaii. Election law experts said Gabbard's vote, coupled with her claiming a homestead tax break on her Texas home, raises questions about whether she properly cast her ballot and illustrates the complexities of state voting laws. Yes, that's right. They're not concerned about election security unless it's one specific. I think they should have put that word in there. It's one specific person breaching it. Specifically, I guess they did. I should have kept reading. A person who they hold a grudge against. The irony was not lost on social media users. Perfect point by friend at Brent Scher, the Real Daily Wire, blah, 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 blah. CNN's reporting on Tulsi Gabbard's alleged voter fraud is the first time they've taken an interest in voter fraud. By the way, the rest of it is as much of a non-issue as you might think from the opening 3 paragraphs. I don't know. I would like, probably need to do more research into that. I will say this, though. Why is it so bad that Tulsi Gabbard did that when Hillary was living just about everywhere but New York, but yet was a New York senator? Riddle me that, Batman. It's worth noting here that nothing, and please hear this, YouTube, nothing she said should be controversial. It should definitely be covered. She's not intimating that there was fraud, in spite of the fact that that one guy was claiming that that's what she was saying. Merely that there were potential vulnerabilities. This was gospel for both parties, of course, but mainly the Democrats. That is until the 2020 election, when we suddenly had the safest and mostiest, securest system in the whole wide world. And anyone who even muttered any syllable of a dissent was a filthy conspiracy theorizer, an unregenerate calumniator who personally crawled through the Ashley Babbitt window and threw rocks at Mike Pence's defenseless puppy, and also was, censored on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, ad nauseum. This isn't to say that there has been hacking into these systems naturally. It's merely to say that there's evidence of vulnerabilities in those systems. The problem is that behind any voter fraud case, there has to be a vulnerability either in the human systems, digital ones, or in the intersection between the two. Vulnerabilities in human systems, for instance, vote early, vote often, rigging scams, are easier to detect through transparency mechanisms. Anything that involves the digital realm inherently isn't. Therefore, extra attention needs to be paid. The media isn't doing that. Instead, either covering Gabbard's subsequent remarks about the RFK and MLK files, I'm going to guess those documents say that one was unalived by a Palestinian crazy and the other was unalived by a Klan crazy, respectively, or the fact that she voted in Hawaii when maybe possibly she was kind of supposed to vote in Texas or not. Memo to CNN, you do realize that a vote in Texas where seats are potentially up for grabs is more valuable to a partisan voter than a vote in deep blue Hawaii, right? Did the same election experts that thought Gabbard's allegations of voting system vulnerabilities weren't worth covering look at a voting history map before they greenlit this story? Something else I want to point out, you got to remember, these are fairly rich people. A lot of these people have multiple homes. So what? She bought a place in Texas. She may still be living, technically, she's probably living mostly in Washington now, but her residency may still be Hawaii. She just might have a second house. A lot of these people have second and third and fourth houses. I don't hear CNN barking at them. This guy's got a house in Wyoming and yet he's voting in Albuquerque. Election integrity routinely comes up as a major voter concern. If the media won't cover what Americans care about, let that sink in. Why should American voters care about the media? They're more concerned about making sure this doesn't prove President Trump right, even in part about voting systems back in 2020. If this ends up playing out, steal yourself, the media will collapse upon itself as the Democrats are sent to insane asylums en masse. It will break them all. I guess the writer was C. Douglas Golden. Pretty well done. Having said that, the end of it is just a Republican's fever dream, but I do share it. I would love to see at least the crazier, not the voters per se, but some of the crazier leaders of the Democrat Party, and frankly, even some of the crazy leaders of the Republican Party, they would look nice in white jackets. Nice in white jackets, never voting for us. The lies that they've told we're not allowed to discuss, and I loathe them. Oh, I loathe them. I miss the Moody Blues. All right, where we at? You can dance if you want to. Oh, better not sing much more of that. Dead Man Walking is a shout out to Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun, the only one. Wait a minute. The wrench is metric. It's all part of my fiendish plan, accounting sheep. Soon all wrenches will be metric, and then I will rule the world. Mikey Susie 4 is laughing at counting sheep. I am a comedian transplant and don't believe in no stinking metrics. I think that Mikey Susie 4 is a Canadian asset, and he's here spying on us. Stream Elements has a thing for our dear sci-fi mombi. Yeah, she helped me set it up. So I set it up with a thing to, help her out, and then I've never taken the time to put anything more in there because I just, yeah. Mark Molnikoff is sharing something. Ooh, let's see what this is. You can XX baby. Boom 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 bada boom boom. Boom 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 bada boom boom bum bum. All right, let's see. What have we got? What have we got? Unfortunately, so the other day I had to restart my computer, and a lot of my stuff is now on the white screen, and it bugs the crap out of me. All right, what have we got? DNI Tulsi Gabbard. As promised, I have declassified the Biden administration strategic implementation plan for countering domestic terrorism. Read it here. And here's like the front page, which tells us really nothing. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at Biden's plan to stop domestic terrorism. This is really annoying. Download the report here. If that takes me to a page that I have to download, I'm going to get really irritated. How's come Doge can't fix that? All right. Let's take a quick gander through it. Okay, so this Strategic Implementation Plan, or SIP, provides direction and guidance for implementation of the National Strategy for Countering Domestic Terrorism. It is organized around the strategy's 4 pillars, whose development was informed by the comprehensive assessment of today's domestic terrorism threat, provided by appropriate elements of the intelligence and law enforcement communities in March of 2021. This SIP is structured to reaffirm and promote the goals of the 4 pillars articulated in the strategy. Actual implementation of the SIP should be approached in adherence to the principles which seek to ensure that U.S. government efforts to address domestic terrorism remain consistent with the rule of law and American values. All righty. You know what? I'm going to have to read this and see what parts of it I want to share. Is there any part of it that you recommend me look at? DT related information sharing, provide resources, provide updates on resources. U.S. government works with international partners to enhance information sharing. Oh, really? And to determine if connections across national boundaries are common among domestic terrorists and related or similar threats abroad. I see. Measure performance. How long is this thing? 15 pages. All right, I'm going to read this. That may be what my next stream is about, is what was good and what was bad in the plan of the previous administration. Uh-oh, raggy. Something's going, our chat's just taken off. Okay. Accounting sheep, well, you can't really blame Hillary for not wanting to live in New York. Wah, wah, wah. Mikey Season 4, always expect the unexpected, everybody and everyone all at once. And then he shares his channel, which is awesome. Please feel free to share your channels out and stuff. Promote thyself. Promote thyself. Hey, 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 hey. And if you want it right now, we can show you how. Promote your channels. I panicked. I'm done. Accounting sheep. Curtis is singing. I think I found that harmful content that YouTube won't monetize. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, hail, Connie Cleary. You're not late. I'm just scatterbrained. Hail, chat. Sorry I'm late. Finally got myself situated after being out. Jeff B, is this a tired karaoke stream? Pray to whatever gods you believe in that it is not. No, Jeff B, it is not. But in case I haven't said hello to you, because I can't remember if I did, hello, hail, and well met. Breathe deep the gathering gloom. I don't know that song, so I don't know. And we have indeed, yes, the Bird Woman of YouTube. And check out her channel, please. You'll find some lovely Zen moments of beautiful birds. Some of them trying to eat Connie's phone, often accompanied by soothing, beautiful music. So, like you, Susie 4, watch the lights fade from every room, right, John? Oh my gosh, Gorilla Sensor Thoughts is saying grapefruit size hail. That is not good. Like Susie 4 has subbed to Mark Malikov and says Kapla. Gorilla Sensor Thoughts says something that would be censored by YouTube. He is not happy with them. I am assuming he has been censored. Let's see what he's going to say. Kapla, Gorilla, duck and dodge. All I said, says Gorillas, is that Omaha is getting battered. Wow. You know, as much as they censor, just fill in the blank. YouTube makes me sad. That's why I'm over on Rumble as well. Please subscribe to me on Rumble. You'll be happy you did, maybe. Kapla, glory to you and your house. Mark Malikoff, Curtis Selby, paragraphs toward the end were really to undermine the First and Second Amendments. It also explains the lawfare of similar bills popping up in blue states. Okay, so the ending is where it gets good. Okay, let me. I can take a little bit of time. That's what we always do. We hide things at the end of the bill. Okay, let's go to final as approved by deputies. Okay, let's start here. Examine existing policy related to watch listing to determine whether purely domestic terrorist subjects with no international nexus should be included in TIDE. Okay, and I should know what TIDE is because somebody told me what it was. I do have a couple of friends with pretty decent clearance. And sometimes they share things with me, and sometimes because I'm a big dope, I forget what they said. I'm almost certain I have heard what TIDE is, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. All right, fine. Tide takes stains out of your way. When I was young, we had to eat Tide straight out of the boxes. We didn't have Tide Pods. All right. So anyway, that should be included in TIDE, and if so, whether any amendments must be made to the 2003 Memorandum of Understanding on the Integration and Use of Screening Information to Protect Against Terrorism. Relevant agencies, including DHS, will be notified of the resulting recommendation and will also be reported to NSC staff, CSG, DAVE, MOUSE members, and if appropriate, deputies to inform further policy consideration. Lead DOJ, FBI, TSC, and NCTC with DHS. Okay. So 5 of them are the leaders on this. Provide an update within 6 months. Intended impact. Potential and current U.S. government employees, contractors, and military service members are properly screened to prevent individuals who pose domestic terrorism threats from being employed by or working on behalf of the U.S. government. Consider updating standard form 85, 85P, and 86 to better screen for possible involvement in DT and potential terrorism-related insider threats. Lead Opium and ODNI. If you want to be successful, use Opium. Provide updates on the changes to the standard forms. Enable the U.S. government insider threat programs to identify and mitigate threats, including potential domestic terrorism-related activities. Consider policy recommendations to address defined prohibited activities among uniformed military personnel, civilian employees, and contractors. Really? Well, what were those policy recommendations, I wonder? Provide an update on whether insider threat programs are being utilized to identify and mitigate potential DT-related threats, including any policy recommendations to address this issue within 9 months. I would suggest that I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Support non-federal partners, including state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement, not to mention USAID, as well as private sector and entities as appropriate or inappropriate, as they enhance their DT-related screening of prospective and current employees consistent with applicable law and policy. This includes state and major urban area fusion centers, facilitating greater use of available federal databases. The same ones, by the way, that had 250-year-old people in them, but we were too stupid to understand that was all because of COBOL. By assisting state and local law enforcement agencies with employee screening-related database checks. Okay, within 6 months, provide an update on threat assessments. Whoa. Pillar 4, confront long-term contributors to domestic terrorism. Ooh, I'll bet this is where the juicy stuff starts. Intended impact. Lethal means for perpetrating acts of domestic terrorism are reduced. Greater care is provided earlier to potentially dangerous individuals. Norms of nonviolent political expression and rejection of racism and bigotry are strengthened. Americans have increased faith in democracy and government. Well, they failed drastically with that one. Increase intervention and care for those who pose a danger to themselves and others. I would suggest that they kind of failed with that too. Strengthen civics education that promotes democratic resiliency. Again, failure. Increase civic engagement to foster social cohesion. Failure. I'm just saying that if these were the objectives, I will say this, they were successful in preventing some actions, but as far as those last few things, they utterly failed. Rein in the proliferation of ghost guns, encourage state adoption of extreme risk protective orders, drive other executive and legislative action, including banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, because if you don't have a gun, you can't protect yourself against terrorists. Implement the COVID Hate Crimes Act. Ooh, that's juicy. To address hate crime reporting barriers faced by disadvantaged communities by promoting law enforcement training and resources to prevent and address bias-motivated crimes, improve federal hate crimes data and analysis to eliminate hate crimes under reporting, mitigate xenophobia and bias, including by advancing inclusion in the nation's COVID-19 response. Launch a national public education campaign to improve lethal means safety. Did I read that right? Launch a national public education campaign to improve lethal means safety by expanding access to and use of safe storage of firearms, and determine reimbursement opportunities to incentivize use of lethal means counseling in clinical settings. Create a federal coordinating office, interagency strategy, and guidebook for states to ensure effective implementation of the new 988 mental health crisis line. Optimize and create as appropriate interagency federal and state level data sharing arrangements to improve real-time data and information sharing to identify individuals at risk in order to target intervention at the local, state, and federal level. Develop workforce strategy and guidance documents for increasing integration of behavioral health care into primary care settings to expand access to evidence-based care for mental health and substance use disorders. May I say, I have rarely read a bigger pile of gobbledygook. If that meant something to you, that either means you're much smarter than me or you're crazy. Encourage the teaching and learning of civics education. Failed. That provides students with the skills to fully participate in civic life, including by leveraging existing funding sources like the USAID, and promoting promising practices for action civics. Support evidence-based research on information literacy education for both children and adult learners, and existing proven interventions to foster resiliency in disinformation. Promote volunteerism and increase the amount and accessibility of opportunities for Americans to participate in national service through AmeriCorps and advance legislative and executive action to increase voter participation and service as nonpartisan poll workers. Provide an update on efforts to confront the long-term contributors to domestic terrorism within 6 to 12 months. Well, I think I missed some of the point, but there was definitely enough there to make me go, what in the heck? Gorilla, send your thoughts. Tonight, third confirmed tornado that I have seen. Oh man, stay safe. Don't get blown away. Mikey Susie 4, Nebraska is undergoing severe hailstorms. Yikes. Oh, I should have known that. I don't know. Oh, Moody Blues. Tell me, can I get in through? Okay, fine. I'll join in. Enjoy songs in bad taste. Go to the Accounting Sheet channel. Jeff B is a good thing. Omaha is 2.5 hours southwest. Very good thing. Bottom of page 14. The bottom of page 14. So, yeah, that big pile of gobbledygook. Maybe I shouldn't assume, but am I guessing that basically is just technicalese for we're going to do whatever the heck we want, and anyone that doesn't like it can get stuffed? Let me go back to what you'd said up here. Up here, we are looking up here. Okay, undermine the First and Second Amendments, yes, and explains the lawfare similar bills popping up in blue states. Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of things in there that at least undermine Second Amendment, if not, but it was all put in nice language. That's what I liked. Where was that at? Lethal means safety. I guess that means that you store your gun with the safety on. But it's freaking Orwellian. Lethal means counseling. So I guess if you own guns, you need counseling. Create a federal coordinating office for states to ensure effective implementations. Okay, optimize and create interagency federal and state level data sharing arrangements. Which I thought we'd done that with the Patriot Act, but whatever. Where am I at now? And Sashi, the man from the future. Hail and well met. What don't you know? Is it something I know, or is it something I know nothing of? Mikey Season 4, the Moody Blues song, Late Lament. Greetings, Sashi. Hello, future man and brother, Sashi. And people are saying hello to each other in the Forbidden Zone. Only 2 likes? I've only gotten 2 likes? Holy crap. Well, I haven't even liked my own videos, so I can't really complain. JPRPH1, bedsitter people look back and lament. Another day's useless energy spent. Curtis said the T word. He's never getting monetized now. Which T word did I say? Trump? I don't know. Good evening, Lemon Pie, one of the great wrenches of YouTube. We have 2 of the greats right here. Be afraid. All of you who would create chaos and dissension in the chat, be very afraid. JPRPH1 is here for the harmful Tulsi picks. All sounds very calming. It does sound very calming. I'm just saying. I don't doubt that I've got friends. Oh, that all sounds really good. It sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook garbage. Sashi, all right, I have to get ready for work. See you guys. Take care. Take care at work. And be sure that all of your legalese lets you do whatever you want to do. Mark Malikoff, it explains all the anti-2A bills being presented in blue states. That safe storage bill stuff has pooped up. We have a hearing on one such steaming pile of crap bill next week in Illinois. And Grill Sense Thoughts, that was for Omaha message that blank blank censored. Gotcha. Lemon Pie, that's why Congress doesn't read half the bills they pass. Right on. Resolute Germ still needs to be wrenched. I will wrench you. I will wrench you. Resolute Germ, for all of your crimes against humanity, you're thinking the wrong way, you're exposing of the evil of our governments, you shall Narfle the Garthok, or maybe just be made standard moderator. There we go. Mark Monikov, check out 4 Boxes Diner. He's a constitutional attorney. He gave a great breakdown on those sections today. Ooh. 4 Boxes Diner. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. YouTube 4 Boxes Diner. And of course, I click on it and then no, sorry. The 4 Boxes Diner. I shall subscribe to him. Is it the Breaking 2A News? Breaking news plot revealed. Which one of these? And I probably won't take time to analyze all of them, but I was just curious which one I was looking for. Mikey Season 4, nice recall of great TMB song. John Ponerera has got a great recall for songs. Resolute Germ didn't even notice. Mark Molikov said back to Mikey Season 4. Mikey Season 4, Blue Wrenchy said like Blue Meanies. Hope all of you got that song reference. You know, I don't. Sorry. I've lived in a cave. Gorilla Central Thoughts. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Mikey Season 4, R.I.P. Rip Torn with Dodgeball. Yeah, I've seen part of that film. All right. I will probably watch some of this later. I wanted to share two more things. Two more things. So this is now I will admit I have criticized my friends for propping up Robert Reich as an economist when he has no training in economics. So I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite here. I want to quote that world-renowned and brilliant economist, Culture Casino. He did a video on Minecraft movie destroying $300 million box office opening, and he gave a take on tariffs, which I realize that's not the topic of the video, but I wanted to share this. I do not know if these figures are accurate. The source is, after all, Culture Casino. So do your due diligence, maybe look up some things. I'm not really much caring about Canada having tariffs on us. Although, if you want to look at the percentages, if those are accurate, those are crazy high numbers. With love and respect to my Canadian friends, because I know you didn't pick the tariffs. But he does an analysis on tariffs that might be overly simplistic, but I'm wondering if it's spot on, and I'm going to share this and see what you guys think. Let me know if you can hear it.
Just a friendly reminder that if you didn't know, this is what's coming out of Canada as far as tariffs prior to the enforcement of tariffs from the U.S. side. Chicken was 263%, turkey 179%, butter 175%. Dairy spreads 165%, certain fish products 160%, milk 155%. In other words, these are the tariffs that Canada placed on American goods. So if you want to know if tariffs are a good thing, 170 countries around the world have been using them against the United States. Got it? Okay. That's important because more than 50 countries have already capitulated to trade negotiations, offering zero in many cases so that they don't have to stumble over U.S. tariffs. Mind you, that would be a massive decrease in the cost of goods, unlike a lot of the stories that are being reported by the AP. And Trump says he's not backing down from the tariffs. He's calling them medicine for the market. Of course, that's probably exact for Disney. Just a friendly reminder that...
Okay, so I missed part of it. The next part that he shares is essentially if we can get 50 to 100 countries to drop their tariffs to zero, that will basically cause most prices to go down. Now, obviously, if we just get into a big trade war, then that's a different story. But that's at the end of the day, that's the whole rub. Are we all going to start playing nice with each other, or does Uncle Trump have to take away everybody's toys? Film at 11. Mikey Susan 4 is saying the line from Beatles' Yellow Submarine film. Ooh, we own the extended version. I haven't seen that one since I was 5, maybe 6. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Mark Malikoff is saying to you, why dodge a wrench when I can pick it up and doge the ball instead? Mikey Susan 4, I know Culture Casino. He hasn't aged well. Just saying. Resolute Germ, training in economics usually means you're wrong. They don't say that because then my friends will say, see, Robert Reich is right. Resolute Germ, literally every country had at least some tariffs on the U.S. Yes. And for some reason, we're bad if we use tariffs back. Just there used to be a saying, it's funny how if I treat people the way they treat me, they don't like it. All right. Now I'm having a senior moment Do dee do 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 dee do dee dee do 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 dee do 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 dee do do dee do dee do do do. This was it. Okay. This is not Tulsi Gabbard. This is Victor Davis Hanson. Again, it's a video that I actually haven't had a chance to watch, but because it at least vaguely bears on the topic, I wanted to share some of it because I like the guy. I think he's spiffy. He has the Tired Blogger seal of approval. Thank you all, Mikey Souza 4, and thank you, Mikey Souza 4, for encouraging people to give me likes. Give me likes, give me sweet little likes. Give me likes, give me likes. Oh, no, you can't disguise. And by the way, YouTube, that's called parody. It's protected under fair use. I'm just saying. What do you do when you're branded? You watch TV. All right. He produced this video about 2 weeks ago. So yes, it's old, but he is saying Pfizer COVID bombshell puts the 2020 election into context. Let's see what he has to say.
Can look at the 2020 elections especially, but there's some developments in the news this week that suggest that we might. Remember, the left said that anybody who had doubts about the balloting or the procedures or the change in laws of voting in 2020 was an election denialist, and they always cited kind of conspiracy theorists. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about the fact that in 2020, 158 million people voted. 4 years later, only 155. That's only happened, I think, 2 or 3 times in American history where 4 years later, fewer people voted. But the country grew by 11 million people. So that was kind of odd. So there were changes that we really didn't ponder at the time, and we haven't fully absorbed yet.
All right. What do you all think about that? That more people voted in 2020. Is he just not taking into account that there was lots of fervor and lots of fear, and we've got to make sure to get out the vote because if Trump wins, it's a catastrophe, and maybe there wasn't that same amount of urgency? Or do you think he's got a point? Do you think that maybe it is a weird anomaly and people can be forgiven for questioning it? Mikey Susie 4, like the double standards imposed because of Weird Al's prior song parody antics. Indeed. Only works on Larry's channel. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Exclamation mark Mikey. Resolute Germ. Dead people aren't a reliable voting base. What? Chicka chicka what? Yeah, but they are a reliable source of USAID money. Just saying. Okay. So, Victor Davis Hanson, in his own words, not my words.
Hello, this is Victor Davis Hanson for the Daily
And you're not.
Signal. I don't want to go back and look at the 2020 elections especially, but there's some developments in the news this week that suggest that we might.
Okay, so he's already said that. We already talked about that. So let's skip ahead to here. We'll skip ahead to this.
The country grew by 11 million people. So that was kind of odd that we went from a 11 million increase in population, but we decreased by 3 million voters. The other thing that was very odd was that traditionally we only had about 40% of people voting before election day, either through mail-in balloting or early balloting. And that was very apparent in 2018 when a traditional 35 to 40%, depending on the state, did not vote on election day. But given the changes that were democratically inspired on election day in 2020, 70% of the people had already voted, and about 55 to 60% of those, even higher in some states, were Democrats. So there was changes that we really didn't ponder at the time, and we haven't fully absorbed yet. But here's what I'm getting at. This week, a former Pfizer executive who now works for a British pharmaceutical company, GSK, was accused by former employees that had worked for him when he was CEO, or I shouldn't say CEO, in charge of the vaccine program at Pfizer. And their accusation, they took notes during meetings, so it's documented. And even the DOJ under Trump now is.
He's taking a long time to get to the point. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Mikey Sousa 4, Hanson, The Economist, almost as bad as the past trio banned by the same name. But Economist, but. And hello, Sci-Fi Sit Down, another wonderful creator, has entered the chat. Hail, welcome, and well met. I am sharing random stuff that Victor Davis Hanson has said about previous elections and Pfizer COVID bombshells. I am sharing a video that I haven't even watched yet, thinking and hoping that it might have some pertinence to the topic. And now everybody is singing bop. Okay, now Trump is looking at it. Okay, let's skip ahead at least a little bit. So we're testing.
Efficacy and the safety of the Pfizer spike protein anti-COVID vaccine was known. And they were going to announce it sometime between early October and late October. And I remember this. I wrote a column about it. And then something magical happened. There were people on the Pfizer board, allegedly, that put pressure to delay the announcement. And delay the announcement they did. In other words, Donald Trump was saying that we have done something no one else has done. We have given certain concessions, in retrospect, wisely or unwisely, to Moderna and Pfizer. And they, under Operation Warp Speed, we have a vaccine that they claim is 100%. It was not. Guarantee about either being infected or infectious.
Okay, so they wanted to delay the announcement. So what's that got to do with the price of tea in China? Oh, we're just wrenchifying everyone. Should we give Sci-Fi Sith Dan unlimited power? Oh, why not? He can dance. Everybody show up your hands. Add as a moderator, and he's added as a moderator of mine. Let's take a look and see. Right now, nothing to see here, citizen, is up to 42%. Voice of Northern Oklahoma is second, as 37%. Donkey Panderer is at 16%, and Donkey Panda at least got a vote at 5%. Mikey Sousa 4 is saying men without hats. That is correct. PvP is saying the wrench is mightier than lightsaber. Hail and well met, PvP. I am pointlessly sharing a Mark Victor Davis Hanson, whatever his name is, video. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Pop Goes the World's a much better song than Safety Dance. Очень интересно. Okay.
On election day, I got the vaccine. They wanted Joe Biden to say after the election, only then did it come. In fact, so profound was that about face that Joe Biden actually said that no one had been vaccinated when he became president. That was a complete lie, because After the election, when Pfizer thought that Donald Trump was safely defeated, they announced it. And then in November, December, and January, 17 million people were vaccinated. So just what am I getting at? There was a lot of very strange things. Remember?
Okay, so at least according to him, they were going to announce that they had a vaccine, and they deliberately delayed the vaccine because they did not want Trump getting credit for it. They, in fact, wanted Biden to be the president. What do you think about that? Mark Malikoff, PvP, a lightsaber is no match for a Klingon lightsaber batleth. Yes. How Profound Wizard, PvP, Pop Goes the World was a great album, Mikey, and Sci-Fi Sit Down, PvP, yeah, and now have the power to trying a few nuts. Okay. Let's see if he's got anything else to say.
For the Hunter Biden laptop, Anthony Blinken, Mike Morrell, the former CIA interim director, they got 51 people right before the October 23rd debate to lie. And they knew it was a lie because the FBI had authenticated the laptop to say that the laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. And we know from a albeit conservative poll, Technometrica, that affected 8 out of 10 people who were polled votes. That was a stunning thing to do. And then in addition to that, the FBI was inserting agents into the social media network at Facebook and Twitter, and their job was to censor the news. What Molly Ball in her Time essay said was to suppress disinformation and misinformation. What am I getting at? This week's story about Pfizer sort of confirms what a lot of us said, that the news of the vaccination was deliberately manipulated and delayed so it would not give credit to Donald Trump before the final 30 or 40% of the ballots were cast. And that was a pattern that we saw with the FBI working hand in glove with social media and as well as the government in the guise of Anthony Blinken, who at the time was working for Biden and would be Secretary of State, rounding up ex-government officials. And they were not ex in every case. Some of these 51 authorities were still contractors. Bottom line, the problem wasn't computers sending out signals or fake computer ballot totals. The problem was that we radically changed the voting laws. We denied we did in some ways. We did it for partisan purposes. We manipulated the news. And now we learn that even pharmaceutical companies were massaging the results of their test to hurt Donald Trump's chances in the 2020 election. Thank you very much.
What do you all think about that? Because that's basically where I've been standing in the last 6 months to a year, that the election was stolen, but it wasn't necessarily stolen by weird ballot hacking. It was stolen by basically the deep state that they continue to deny exists. He didn't exactly confirm anything there or really even tell us anything we didn't already know, but it was nice to hear it articulated. Let's see here what's going on in our chat. Mikey sees a 4, Curtis, nothing to see, 42%. The Voice of Northern Oklahoma, 37%. 19 votes so far. PvP says those Klingons are crafty blankety blanks. Mark Malikoff, Trump's Warp Speed project was a program I was a test subject in. I got the antibodies in that trial. I believe those saved me from getting really sick when I got COVID the first time. Leftist lies. Gotcha. Sci-Fi Sit Down, tightening, not tying, misspelling. Hopefully the grammar Yahtzees don't end me. Grammar Yahtzees. No, I mean, we have known it for years, but it's just very comforting that, well, let me put it this way. Let me put it another way. and this may not mean much to you, but it means a lot to me because, you know, I'm weird. History. Hopefully nothing embarrassing shows up. Okay. So I want to share something. Even just a few months ago, there would have been this great big glaring hate speech thing. Well, COVID-19 was this and that, and the official story is this and that, and blah, blah, blah. There's no such thing here. No such thing here. Something else, I had a very similar experience to what this this commenter says. Not exactly, but very similar. When this person went to bed in 2020, Trump had won. Then I woke up to something much different and very questionable. I do remember that when I went to bed, it was still a very close race. And then, you know, Biden ended up winning in a landslide the next day. Another thing, the commenter here says, sick of all those findings, no one going to jail. Yeah, same here. Those 51 people that lied about, I don't much care about the Hunter Biden laptop, but the 51 that lied and said that Trump was a Russian asset, I agree. They need to go to jail. When you make allegations that could destroy a man's life, you should get the punishment that you are seeking to impose on the person. So, there it is. What have we got in the comments? The comments say that Gorilla Censor Thoughts has been censored again. Ban his blank. Ban his blank. Okay. I must have missed something. Yeah, Mikey, Susie 4 got censored again by the YouTube overlords. He was showing his banana. We'll never know that, Dan. And the elite rarely get punished. Too true. All right, I want to end this in a few minutes. I think I will end it with pointless and partisan things that Curtis has found on Twitter. But I don't know that I have very much that's pointless or partisan. Gorilla Censor Thoughts, I don't know how well Serenity will play tonight with Storm moving in. Why does Gorilla want to ban donkeys? The 51 got their security clearances revoked. Yeah, but to me, that's not enough. With no offense meant to you, Jeff. I'm not meaning to challenge you or anything because I know that you're right. But to me, that's not enough. They should see prison time because they sought to put. Basically, they sought to make people think that Trump was a traitor and have him put in jail at the very least. Resla Germ Gorilla always showing his banana to unsuspecting innocents. And PvP, can you get Germ to stream Serenity for his PC? Ooh, excellent thought. Okay. Let me first take a look at what I have bookmarked because, yeah, I knew it. I do have something kind of embarrassing. Darn it, I can't share that one. So, okay. So I'll just have to be careful with this. So let us share. I wish I knew how to blur things out because I would really love to share that other one with you, but I know I cannot. So here it is. Somebody, my cat trying to help me figure out who broke the vase. Don't know if you can see it, but the cat has part of the vase around the neck. Babylon B, American hostages in Gaza disguise themselves as MS-13 gang members so Democrats will fight to bring them home. Babylon B. Rob Schneider shared this one. Boom! Evidently a Buck Sexton. Those who cheered as J6 American prisoners were locked in solitary for 18 months without trial. And I had liberal friends who did cheer that. Now suddenly fight tooth and nail for foreign terrorists due process. They hate what holds America together and loves what destroys us. Dolly Parton. Yep, I got to be careful here, but this is not the one that I need to be careful with. Dolly Parton didn't spend her dollars on space travel or a trip to the Titanic because she was writing checks to put 150 million books in the hands of children. This next one I cannot share, but I will explain what it is so that, basically, the New York Times, somebody has photoshopped a thing on the New York Times. Model sues London breast surgeon. Surgeon quoted as saying it looked fine to me, and it's got this cross-eyed guy, and then the woman's breasts are shown, but they're like cross-eyed, if you know what I mean. So, but I can't show that. Sci-Fi Sith Dan, I might join it for at least a little while. People wonder why Gorilla's censored thoughts switch from random to censored. Germ streams are generally excellent. They are. Love, yeah. I might leave early though, but I would be happy to join. And in fact, I probably ought to end this one soon so we can all get on there. Let me just share a few more. I just want to share a few more. Troy Pacelli. Is it just me or do the Blue Origin uniforms look like the Orville's Planetary Union uniforms? Can Katy Perry open a jar of pickles? Rothmus shared this one. Why did Noah build an ark when he could have simply paid more taxes to stop climate change? Elon Musk. Bill Maher says Democrats didn't just flirt with woke, they married it. Now it's dragging the whole party off the cliff. Mayer just dropped a brutal reality check. If Democrats don't cut ties with the woke cult, they're finished. So I wanted to share this too because it's just awfully cute.
Let's begin.
Trying to cook while a cow is putting her head in the midst of everything. I don't know that I'd want to eat anything these people produce.
Perfect. And that's how you successfully make a bulking meal. And that's how you successfully. My largest client is now in a bulk phase. Let's begin.
All right. Gina Carano, a lot can happen in a week. Palm Sunday to the rock moved away from the grave. Undialectable. There's no such thing as government funded. It's all taxpayer funded. And valid question, Kevin Sorbo, if the shots were given away for free because they're life-saving, why isn't insulin free? Chemotherapy, EpiPens. All right. I shall call it a stream. Oh, yeah. Boom. All right. Let's see. Resolute, not since the pepper spray and restraining order. Like Picasso breasts, sort of. Gorilla's beautiful tornado on ground near EO6. Especially the vice chair the DNC has. I'm totally over the DNC and not coming back. I can't blame you. PvP, I'm not eating at their restaurant. Accounting sheep, slightly too rare for me. Give it another few minutes. Jeff B, pasteurized cud. Gorilla Sensor Thoughts, when your dinner starts eating your food. And hey, Scurvy. All right, I'm going to call it a stream because I can. And Sir Lemon Pie is back. Huzzah! I don't know if we learned anything. Basically, the long and the short of it is, do we have definitive proof? Well, really not necessarily. But we have, as somebody pointed, was it Resolute Germ? This is the fourth smoking weapon metal of destruction, metal tool of destruction. I can't even remember my own jokes. I could just go to sleep to that soft crone music. Gorilla's new channel, Gorilla's Stormy Thoughts. I thought about actually calling the next channel Storm Brewing. So I may have a poll next week with that in it to give you, I don't know, because I wonder if you guys would like that one. Let's end the poll. At this time, y'all want nothing to see here, citizen. And I have no pen. Nothing to see here, citizen. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. I am suddenly terribly tired, but all right. Let's say thank you to everybody and promote everybody's channel, and then let people go to the various streams that are out there. We've got Serenity at Gorillas. We've got Netter's Thursday Things. I'm sure there were other streams as well. But I want to thank John Ponderero. I want to thank and promote Resolute Germ. Please check out his channel. And we're going to be doing Saturday morning cartoons together on the 26th. You should be so impressed. I wrote it down in my calendar like a big boy. Counting Sheep, hail and well met. Check out his channel and listen to the tunes that will make you laugh until you cry. Mikey Caesar 4, thank you very much for showing up, and also check out his channel with the TV reviews, a lot of wonderful commentary, and some great moments that he has with gorillas and other wonderful people, some of whom are in the chat right now. Mark Malnikoff, check out this guy's channel, and thank you very much for showing up and for your Klingon thoughts. Oh, I promised you guys something, and I almost broke my promise because I forgot. Okay, let's see. I got to get this going. I'm just tired enough to be very stupid. You know what? I'll just do it this way. I will do it this way. It can be done. I promised you at the end of the video you would get your reward. There it is. Tulsi in bikinis with her head cropped off because that's just how I roll. Don't ask me why I remembered it with Mark Malikoff. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, John Ponerero, for the super chat again. You guys are the ones that keep the lights on. Hey, the lights just went off. Bone, thank you very much for your kind comments. I love cats. DJ Play Nice, thank you very much. And check out DJ Play Nice channel. Dad Man Walking, thank you for coming in and leaving the kind comment. Check out Dad Man Walking and Mrs. Dad Man Walking. Very positive channels, but you won't get pictures of Tulsi in a bikini. Just saying. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Doobie. So many good people here. Connie Cleary, check out her channel and watch those videos of those lovely birds. You can peck if you want to. You can peck your worries away. But your friends don't fly. And if they don't fly, well, they're no friends of mine. Sashi, the man from the future. Hail and Wilmette, and I hope he's doing well at work. Thank you very much for showing up and for the kind commento. Lemon Pie, thank you for showing up and for your kind comment. Wonderful people here. Beautiful, beautiful people. It's a beautiful world we live in. For you. For you. And hail and well met, Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Today, many wrenches were given out. And PvP. So between PvP and Sci-Fi Sith Dan, these are some of the wonderful people that I'm talking about who hang out with Gorillas and Mikey Season 4. They have wonderful channels. Please check out their content. Tell them the Tired Blogger sent you, and they'll stare at you in confusion. Gorilla Sensor Thoughts got censored today, so it must be Thursday. Doobie doobie doo 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 doo. Doobie 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 doo. Mark Malikoff making a salient point here. Dude, and don't get me wrong, I get that there's people who think the same thing on the other side, and I don't blame them. Oh, yes. Mikey Susan 4, good point, Hercules. I'm so sorry. See, I am tired. I'm not even getting the jokes. Ha ha, ha ha, ha. But your dinner started eating your food. Yes, the fourth smoking metal engine of destruction. Because YouTube doesn't like us using the GUN word. And I just got it. Nothing to see here, citizen. When I see Hercules, I think early. That's the one that PvP voted for. Elton John. Oh, it's hailing. Don't forget Tulsi. That's why we're all here. Well, there she is. She's right there on my icon. She's right there. Just look at my icon. Jeez, foot. Whoa, Tulsi, yikes. Nice donkey. Oh, LDG, free the net. Hail and well met. Another wonderful creator, another person. Check him out. Go see his progress toward birdie. Tulsi Gabbard is beautiful. Birdie. Please check out his channel. He is developing an app that will help free us from the overlords who censor us. Mark Malikoff, you remembered with me because you did not want to dishonor yourself. Yes, that's it. Counting sheep, I'm not quite sure what to think of Curtis's voice coming out of Tulsi's backside. Well, it is very confusing. Okay, so people are going with pickles, Gorilla Streams, LG, High Owl Government. Tried to take me out. His brakes stopped working in the middle of nowhere. Gorilla Sensor thought, LDG, quit peeving off the deep state. And no, LDG, where were they men in black suits over in an adjacent car? That is scary. Well, I'm going to end the stream with my usual spiel. Because I am also a little bit, shall we say, weirded out by my voice coming out of her backside. Let's put something else up here. Let's put this up here. I think I want to put Charlie Chaplin. Wait, what happened? Edit the avatar. It doesn't want to edit the avatar. Okay, well, never mind. Oh, this is why. Maybe. No? Oh. Weird. Well, can you guys hear me? I'm going to hope yes. Mr. Ed was a talking horse. Why not a talking ass? An LDG. There was a lady lawn guy at the house. I was fixing up a client up. So you talked out of your ass so much you had to start talking out of Tulsi's. Wow. All right. So it has been said that life is pain, and anyone telling you otherwise is trying to sell you something. And it is true. I am trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you on the idea that you're smart enough to run your own life and think your own thoughts without having big government and big corporations tell you how to do so. And I'm also wanting to share with you that you are not going mad. You're going sane in a world gone mad. Have a great evening. I will see you guys at Firefly. Huzzah! Spoon!